When addressing the core issue of this massive online open course, why the European Union, we simply cannot avoid the German question. Germany has always been at the core of all integration proposals. Quite unfortunately, the question of Germany has frequently been simplified in the contemporary narrative of European integration, presented in a sort of white and black picture. On the one hand, integration has been presented as the practical implementation of the genuine friendship between two countries and two nations that had confronted each other by military means 3 times between 1870 and 1945. The Franco-German War of 1870, World War I and World War II. The very popular images of good relationship between the presidents of the French Republic and the German chancellors have served to deliver the image of this sort of friendly camaraderie among those who best represented their two countries. The European communities at first, and the European Union since 1994, would have served as tools for the basic reconciliation between the two largest and most powerful of the continental European countries. The rest of the member states of the European communities or the European Union would have just followed France and Germany. On the other hand, we find that European integration can also be presented as the way in which France and the rest have protected themselves against Germany. The image of European integration as a containment policy has always been present, but it became more salient with the reunification of the two countries in which Germany had been divided after 1949, the Federal Republic of Germany and the Democratic Republic of Germany. The new country that emerged in October 1990 renewed the iconography of an aggressive Germany from which France and the rest of Western Europe had to be protected. The Treaty on the European Union, which was signed in the Dutch city of Maastricht in February 1992, would have been the most recent manifestation of a policy of containment addressed specifically to the new Germany. Germany as a problem, though, has returned to the front line with the crisis of the Eurozone since 2010. The massive manifestations which have taken place in many cities of Southern Europe, subject to austerity measures in 2012-2015, reflect that the anti-German sentiments continue to be deeply rooted in Europe. Germany, the main creditor among the Eurozone member states, has served as the most popular scapegoat. Its chancellor has been represented as a reincarnation of Adolf Hitler, and Germany as willing to subject independent nations through punitive loans rather than by military means, as in 1940-1944. Underneath some of the debates about how to redesign the euro and how to enhance fiscal and economic integration runs the idea of a European Union acting as defense of weak countries in front of a powerful Germany without control. It is interesting to underline today that there was a time when Germany did not exist as a country. It was a territory that had been occupied and divided, subject to a foreign military rule, and the German population living in this territory was maltreated and exploited by those that had defended democracy against fascism. There was a period from the spring of 1945 to the spring of 1947, when Germany was subject to a brutal experience of occupation and systematic exploitation on the east by the Soviet Union, on the west by the combined forces of the United States, the United Kingdom, and France. There was a time when Germany represented a problem for the West that the West decided to remove without contemplation. This was the Morgenthau Plan. Before the Schuman Plan for an integrated Europe on the basis of a Franco-German reconciliation, there was a Morgenthau Plan.
I was totally amazed by the Morgenthau Plan. I couldn't believe that I had never been taught about this post-war period. The story I was told jumped from 1945, with the end of the war, to 1947 with the Marshall Plan. So my belief is that the fact of removing the Morgenthau Plan from education does not help. It rather condemns future generations to repeat the same mistake, which is to commit crime for revenge in the name of justice. So if this particular event is not taken fully into account, we will never understand that something similar to it might happen again. The value of history is to provide lessons all of us have to take advantage of in order to make the right decisions in the future. And the Morgenthau Plan is a remarkable lesson. We must not forget about it.
European integration was an instrument for Franco-German reconciliation and for the German containment. But certainly, it was much more than friendship or fear, no matter how genuine both sentiments might have been felt at any point in time. Germany came to represent both a threat and an opportunity, and European integration became the best strategy at hand to deal with both. Since its very foundation, the Federal Republic of Germany has represented a challenge to its neighbors, but also an opportunity to assist them in finding the means to improve the life of millions of their citizens. European integration should be understood as a sort of symbiotic process through which each state member, including Germany, has been able to improve its performance in benefit of its own citizens. Actually, the history of Germany after World War II runs in parallel to the history of the emergence, implementation, and development of European integration. The following two sessions will deal with the basic features of the relationship between Germany and the rest of its neighbors, as processed through the European communities or the European Union.